We have heard hints of information about Baul throughout the game. He immigrated from Sunset Savanna to the land of Briar and was a gallant royal guard who served the king of Briar Valley. Malleus comments early on about Sebek taking after his grandfather's hot-blooded nature, with Silver saying that Baul and Lilia are old friends. For the first 4 years of the game we did not have much information about Baul aside from occasional references from Sebek that he would look displeased whenever Sebek entered a kitchen or ate certain kind of snacks. Lilia says that Sebek has been close to Baul ever since he was little, and he really is the very picture of his grandfather, from the way he talks to the way he thinks. Sebek has apparently heard many tales about Lilia's exploits in battle from Baul, saying that he has also heard about Lilia's mage arm, and how it left foes prostrated and helpless on the ground. Sebek says that Baul has told him how many times Lilia risked his life for his home when he was young. We receive many interactions between a dream version of young Baul and Lilia, where Baul disagrees with Lilia's decision to allow the group of Silver, Sebek, Grim and the prefect join their journey, but ultimately acquiesces. Baul tries to have Silver and Sebek seized after they successfully knock Lilia's mask from his face in a fight, but Lilia assures him he is unharmed. Baul says that normally the group would never be worthy of standing in Lilia's presence, ordering them to bow their heads. Deciding that something must have brought them together, Lilia assigns the group to Baul to oversee, despite his protests. During the dream Baul regularly reports to Lilia, sometimes volunteering to clear out enemies himself so that Lilia will not need to bother with them. After chasing away a camp of raiders, Lilia encourages Baul to eat while they have the time, despite Baul's protests. Baul refuses to touch the food prepared by Sebek and the others, and Lilia is not amused, saying he is free to do as he likes, but he'd better not go doing anything stupid like collapsing out of hunger. Lilia seems amused by Grim's brazenness in taking Baul's uneaten dinner for himself, and teases Baul for coming back for seconds, thirds, and even fourths of the risotto. In a different camp, Baul again refuses to eat Sebek's cooking and Lilia tells him to stop acting spoiled. Baul insists that Lilia is acting too nonchalant and Lilia replies, "It's always like this with the people that have honorable upbringings." When Lilia comments that Sebek is improving in battles, Baul says that improvement is to be expected when they have Briarland's finest fighter providing them with combat demonstrations, in reference to Lilia, but Lilia says that his fighting style reminds him of Baul's own. Lilia says he's noticed that Baul has been looking out for Sebek and Baul insists he has been doing no such thing. Lilia is unconvinced. When Lilia goes to sleep, Baul volunteers to stand watch. When Lilia declares that he will be teleporting to Castle Wildrose after the siege is revealed, Baul insists Lilia is too injured to survive the process, encouraging him to have faith in the royal guardsmen that Lilia himself trained, as well as Malianor. Lilia reluctantly concedes and Baul sends everyone still standing to Castle Wildrose, saying, "The general and I will return on foot." With Lilia incapable of fighting and the citadel surrounded by their enemies, Baul declares that he will lead the charge out of the castle to clear a path for Lilia and their remaining men. Silver and Sebek say that they have an idea and they will clear the path instead, telling Baul, "That way, you can keep Sir Van Rouge safe." Baul joins Lilia in trying to convince Malianor to escape the castle, unsuccessfully attempting to intervene when she begins striking Lilia with lightning for his insolence. After Malianor drives them from the castle, Lilia tries to entrust Malleus to Baul so that he can return to her, but Baul refuses, saying that all royal guardsmen must obey all Draconia royal commands to the letter and her lightning will strike right through him. Lilia declares that he will just quit the royal guard and he is used to being struck by lightning, but Baul still refuses his orders, saying that Malleus has no one left but Lilia upon whom he can depend. Lilia reluctantly acquiesces.
行くぞお前ら。この卵を国林城に届けるために。マレノー様からの直命、必ず果たしてみせる。
The Dawn Knight is thrown into their path of escape and recognizes Lilia. Baul comes between them, declaring that he will handle the Dawn Knight himself, but the knight aids in their escape, instead. Baul saves Lilia from a silver owl attack as they escape together, and despite being surrounded by at least 15 soldiers he sends Lilia away to hold them off alone, saying, "It's your head and the egg they want, neither of which we can let these wretched creatures have." Lilia reluctantly flees and Baul fells a giant tree with a single swing of his magearm to block the soldiers' way so that they will be forced to stand and fight him. Baul declares, "I am a proud royal guardsman of Briarland. I shall swallow each and every one of you whole," which is also one of Sebek's battle lines. Upon reaching the capital, Baul attempts to call a doctor for Lilia, but Lilia insists upon returning to Malianor. Baul defends Lilia to the Senate when they hurl insults at Lilia in the wake of Malianor's death, saying that not even they have the power to contravene a royal command from a Draconia, and a Draconia instructed that Lilia is to hatch the egg. Lilia resigns from his position instead, shocking Baul. It seems that there were several years during which Baul sent New Year postcards to Lilia, despite never receiving a reply. We learn that Baul is now acting as a secret messenger between Maleficia and Lilia, summoning Lilia to the capital in secret to implore his aid in hatching Malleus, and saying, "Whatever others may say, Her Majesty and I trust you implicitly."
ご無事を。夜の祝福あれ。
Lilia returns sporadically over the next 200 years without any insight into how to save Malleus, and when Baul sends him a final summons, Lilia seems to seize Baul by the throat as he demands answers.
マレウスの卵が危ねってどういうことだ。
落ち着いてください。そんなに締め上げられては息が。
Baul tries to restrain Lilia to keep him from approaching the raging lightning storm around the egg, saying that it could kill him, but Lilia refuses to stay away. Lilia at long last manages to hatch Malleus on his own, and Sebek wonders, "Why did grandfather never share such an awe-inspiring tale with me?" Lilia says that he asked the queen not to tell Malleus what happened so that he would not feel indebted to him, and it is possible that Lilia asked the same of Baul as well, but this is unconfirmed. The Senate reacts with rage to Lilia saving Malleus's life, and Baul lashes out at them, demanding that they take back their insults and saying, "You haven't the faintest notion how much love he's given to the Draconias, and indeed to this nation." Lilia, however, insists that it's better this way. In a flashback we see Baul go to Lilia to ask him to train Sebek. Lilia points out that he resigned from the role of general centuries ago. Baul himself took over Lilia's post, and he is now serving as an advisor to the royal guard. Lilia says that he will be running Sebek ragged and giving him no special treatment just because he is Baul's grandson, and Baul responds, "That's just what I want, sir." Lilia comments that Baul seems to have mellowed out since his daughter brought her human husband to Briar Valley.